Prince Harry thought he knew the woman he married. He believed Meghan's story about being a struggling actress who got lucky, who worked hard, who earned her success through talent and determination. He accepted her narrative about their meeting being serendipitous, about their connection being organic, about their love story being written by fate rather than design. But according to sources close to the prince, Harry has recently uncovered information about Meghan's past that has left him shocked and questioning everything he thought he knew. Information about her years in the Soho House network, about the people who positioned her in those exclusive spaces, about the relationships she cultivated in rooms where cameras never go, and discretion is absolute currency. Want to know what Harry allegedly discovered that changed how he sees his wife? Hollywood insiders are now leaking proof that Meghan's connection to Soho House was not simply about membership at an elite club. According to sources, it was about access to a world where beautiful women and powerful men intersect in arrangements that exist beyond public scrutiny, where introductions are currency, where companionship opens doors that talent alone never could, and where Meghan allegedly learned the skills that would eventually lead her not just to Hollywood success, but to a prince. This is not speculation about her past. According to those who were there, this is documentation of a carefully executed strategy that Harry never knew existed. Until now. And the question that reportedly haunts him is simple and devastating. Did she ever love him, or was he simply the ultimate prize in a game she had been playing for years? To understand what Harry has allegedly discovered, you need to go back to Meghan's years in the Soho House network. Long before she met Harry, long before she became a duchess, Meghan was a regular presence in the exclusive members-only clubs that exist as social playgrounds for the wealthy and connected. But here's what most people don't know. According to sources familiar with Soho House culture, these clubs are not simply restaurants with selective membership. They are ecosystems where transactions happen that never appear on any ledger, where beautiful women gain access through connections that have nothing to do with membership fees, where men with power and money find companionship that exists in carefully managed privacy. Word from people who were part of that world during Meghan's years there claim she understood the unspoken rules perfectly. She allegedly knew which men could open which doors. She recognized which introductions mattered. She learned how to position herself where opportunity might notice her, and according to insiders, she was very good at it. Sources suggest Meghan did not stumble into Soho House circles by accident. She was allegedly brought in, cultivated, positioned by people who recognized her potential value, not her acting ability, her other assets, her intelligence, her charm, her understanding that in certain elite spaces, the right connection matters more than any audition. People familiar with how women gain access to these networks claim Meghan was allegedly guided by someone who knew the system, who understood the gatekeepers, who could vouch for her as someone worth investing time and resources in developing. And that guidance, according to insiders, came with expectations that she would be available for the right events, that she would be charming to the right people, that she would understand the transactional nature of the access she was receiving. Those who allegedly witnessed Meghan during these years describe a woman who played the game with focused intensity, who never forgot a name or a connection, who treated every interaction as potential investment in her future. This was not innocent socializing. According to sources, this was calculated construction of a network that would eventually lead to opportunities most actresses never access. This is where the story shifts from Meghan's strategy to Harry's devastation. So when did Harry allegedly start learning the truth about his wife's Soho House past? According to sources close to the prince, the revelations came gradually. First through whispers from old acquaintances who recognised Meghan from her pre-royal years, then through information from people who worked in the Soho House network during the time Meghan was most active there, and finally, allegedly, through documentation that Hollywood insiders have begun leaking to contacts who they know will ensure Harry sees it. Want to know what that documentation reportedly contains? Insiders claim there are photographs of Meghan at exclusive Soho House events with men she has never publicly acknowledged knowing. Images that allegedly show her in settings she has never mentioned in interviews. Evidence of relationships and connections that contradict the struggling actress narrative she built her public image around. People familiar with what Harry has seen suggest the photos themselves are not scandalous in isolation, but taken together they allegedly tell a story of a woman who was far more embedded in elite social networks than she ever admitted, who had access to wealth and power that her acting salary could never have provided, who was present at gatherings where she should not have been invited unless someone powerful wanted her there. And according to sources, Harry allegedly recognises what those photos represent, that Meghan's path to him was not accident, it was the culmination of years spent cultivating exactly the kind of connections that would eventually position her near royalty. But here's what reportedly cut Harry deepest. Sources claim he discovered that people in Meghan's circle allegedly knew she was targeting him specifically once she learned he would be at certain events. That her presence at the gathering where they met was not coincidence but orchestration. That the spontaneous connection he believed changed his life was actually the end result of careful positioning by people who understood exactly what they were doing. And Harry, according to insiders, now questions whether anything about their relationship was ever real. As information about Harry's alleged discovery began circulating through royal and entertainment circles, reactions revealed brutal power dynamics. How did the palace respond when they learned Harry was finally seeing the truth about Meghan's past? Inside Buckingham Palace, sources say there is deep conflict. Senior advisors who tried to warn Harry before the wedding reportedly feel vindicated but take no joy in it. They allegedly conducted their own investigations into Meghan's background and tried to share concerns with Harry before the marriage. But according to insiders, Harry dismissed every warning as prejudice and jealousy. Now that he is allegedly discovering the same information independently, palace sources claim there is quiet satisfaction that truth is emerging. But there is also concern about what Harry will do with that knowledge. Prince William's position is reportedly more straightforward. Word from those close to the Prince of Wales suggests William has known about Meghan's Soho House connections for years. He allegedly tried to tell Harry about the network Meghan operated in, about the people who positioned her near Harry, about the calculated nature of their meeting. And Harry, according to sources, accused William of racism and jealousy. Now, insiders claim William is simply waiting for Harry to admit what he refused to hear years ago. That Meghan's past was far more complicated than she ever disclosed. Meanwhile, back in California, sources suggest Meghan is reportedly aware that information about her Soho House years is leaking. And according to insiders, she is allegedly furious, not defensive. Furious, because the documentation that is emerging apparently contradicts specific claims she has made publicly about her pre-Harry life, about how she supported herself during lean acting years, about who her friends were, about where her opportunities came from. And if that documentation continues spreading, sources claim, it destroys the foundation story of the struggling actress who got lucky. It reveals instead a woman who allegedly understood exactly how elite networks function and used that knowledge to position herself for maximum opportunity. But here's what most people don't know. What specific allegations are emerging from Hollywood insiders about Meghan's Soho House years? The whispers paint a picture far more calculated than anything Meghan has ever acknowledged. The first whisper involves how Meghan allegedly financed her lifestyle during years when her acting income was modest. Sources familiar with Soho House culture claim she had access to an apartment, to travel, to expensive clothing that her suit's salary could not have covered. And according to insiders, that access came through relationships with wealthy men who were part of the Soho House network, not boyfriends in traditional sense. Arrangements where companionship and discretion were exchanged for financial support and social access. People who allegedly witnessed these dynamics firsthand claim this was not unusual in those circles, that beautiful women and wealthy men operate in understood transactions that exist beyond public relationships. What makes it significant for Meghan, according to sources, is that she has never acknowledged this aspect of her past. She presents herself as financially independent. Insiders suggest the reality was far more complex. The second whisper is more specific. Multiple sources claim Meghan was allegedly introduced to key entertainment industry figures through Soho House connections, not through auditions or professional channels. Through private events where these men mixed with women who were positioned there specifically to be charming and available. According to insiders, some of Meghan's career opportunities allegedly came not from talent, but from impressions she made in these exclusive settings. This does not mean she did not work for her success, but sources suggest the doors that opened for her opened because of who she knew and how she knew them, not because of acting ability alone. The third whisper cuts deeper. Word from people who were part of the Soho House network during Meghan's active years claims there was someone powerful who allegedly took particular interest in her trajectory, someone who opened doors, made introductions, positioned her at the right events with the right people. And this patron, according to insiders, allegedly stayed involved in Meghan's life even after she met Harry, guiding decisions, advising strategy, helping orchestrate the path that would lead from cable actress to duchess. Sources will not name this figure publicly, but they suggest the person's involvement is documented documented and traceable. The fourth whisper is what allegedly devastated Harry. According to insiders, there is evidence that Meghan's introduction to Harry was not accident but design, that people in her network allegedly knew Harry's schedule, knew where he would be, knew which mutual acquaintances could facilitate introduction. And they allegedly positioned Meghan exactly where she needed to be at exactly the right time. If true, this means everything Harry believed about their love story was performance. To understand how Meghan gained access to the Soho House network that allegedly launched her toward royalty, you need to understand the architects who opened those doors. So who were the gatekeepers that positioned Meghan in rooms where ordinary actresses never go? The first figure is Marcus Anderson, the Soho House executive, whose name appears repeatedly in whispers about Meghan's rise. Sources familiar with Anderson's role claim he was not simply a friend to Meghan. He was allegedly her guide through the exclusive social territories where power and beauty intersect. Insiders suggest Anderson understood exactly how to position women within the Soho House ecosystem, which events to place them at, which men to introduce them to, how to create the impression of organic connection when the reality was careful orchestration. And according to sources, Meghan was allegedly one of his most successful projects. People who witnessed Anderson's involvement claim he recognized Meghan's potential early. Not her acting talent, her social intelligence, her ability to read rooms and adapt to what powerful men wanted, her understanding that access is currency. And Anderson allegedly helped her leverage those skills into connections that would eventually include introductions to British social circles. Word from insiders suggests Anderson's involvement went beyond simple friendship, that he allegedly acted as architect of Meghan's social strategy, helping craft the image and connections that would position her not just for Hollywood success, but for the kind of elite proximity that could lead to royalty. The second architect is more shadowy. Sources point to wealthy benefactors within the Soho House network who allegedly provided financial support and lifestyle access to Meghan during her climb. These were not publicized relationships. According to insiders, these were quiet arrangements where Meghan's presence at exclusive events and discretion about what she witnessed were exchanged for resources that enabled her to maintain the appearance of success before she had actually achieved it. People familiar with such dynamics in elite circles claim this is how certain women navigate from middle-class backgrounds into worlds of extraordinary wealth, through relationships that exist in shadows. And Meghan, sources suggest, allegedly understood and participated in this system with full awareness of what it required and what it could provide. What makes the leaked documentation truly dangerous for Meghan is not just what it shows, but what the people behind the leaks know and could still reveal. Want to know who is leaking proof of Meghan's Soho House past to ensure Harry sees the truth? According to sources familiar with the campaign, there are multiple people who were part of that world during Meghan's years there who feel she has rewritten history to erase uncomfortable realities. These people allegedly have photographs, have documentation, have first-hand knowledge of relationships and arrangements that contradict Meghan's public narrative, and they are reportedly leaking this information not to tabloids, but directly to circles where they know it will reach Harry. Insiders claim some of these leakers are women who moved in the same Soho House networks and resent how Meghan has positioned herself as victim while allegedly using the same systems they participated in. Others are allegedly men who were part of that world and feel Meghan's current attacks on privilege and power are hypocritical given how she allegedly leveraged both during her climb. Word from sources suggests the leaked documentation includes not just photographs but communications that allegedly show Meghan's awareness of how she was being positioned, who was helping her, what was expected in exchange for access. If accurate, this evidence would prove Meghan's rise was far more calculated than she has ever acknowledged. And Harry, according to insiders, is allegedly seeing all of it. Those close to the prince claim he is devastated not just by what Meghan may have done before they met, but by what she allegedly hid from him, the relationship she never mentioned, the network that positioned her near him, the calculated nature of their meeting. And Harry reportedly understands that if this documentation becomes public, it destroys not just Meghan's credibility but his own, because it proves he abandoned his family for a relationship that may have been orchestrated from the start. And now we reach the final truth that Harry can no longer avoid. How does a prince survive when he discovers his fairy tale was actually someone else's strategy? Harry stands in California looking at documentation that allegedly proves his wife's past was far more complicated than she ever disclosed. According to sources close to Harry, he is tormented by impossible questions. Did Meghan ever truly love him? Or was he simply the ultimate achievement in a climb that started years before they met? Were the private moments he treasured actually genuine? Or were they performances by someone who had spent years learning to give powerful men exactly what they needed to feel special? Those familiar with Harry's state of mind suggest he cannot answer these questions with certainty, and that uncertainty is destroying him. Because even if Meghan's feelings are genuine now, sources claim the foundation of their relationship may have been built on calculations she has never admitted. Word from insiders suggests Harry faces an impossible choice. He can confront Meghan with what he has learned and risk destroying the only life he has left, or he can stay silent, continue defending her publicly while privately knowing their origin story may have been orchestrated. According to sources, Harry is currently choosing silence. Because admitting the truth means admitting he abandoned his family, betrayed his brother, and destroyed his royal future for a relationship that may have targeted him from the start. The leaked proof continues spreading through elite circles. Hollywood insiders keep feeding documentation to channels that ensure Harry sees it, and Meghan, according to sources, can only watch as the carefully constructed narrative of their love story crumbles under the weight of evidence she hoped would stay buried forever. Because in the end, every kingdom built on hidden foundations eventually collapses when someone decides to excavate the truth. And the Soho House network that allegedly created Meghan's path to royalty is now the weapon destroying the fairy tale she convinced Harry to believe. The proof is leaking, the truth is emerging, and Harry must decide whether to keep pretending he doesn't see what everyone else now knows. Subscribe to Royal Unfiltered for more such news. Thanks for watching.